In the second part, I'll read mostly from my book, Over the Moon. But I'll start with one older pomegranate poem. I grew up in Glasgow, and very often I'd find my father bringing me something that looked to me as if it was from not just another country, but another planet. And this one's called How to Cut a Pomegranate. Never, said my father, never cut a pomegranate through the heart. It will weep blood. Treat it delicately, with respect. Just slit the upper skin across 4 quarters. This is a magic fruit. So when you split it open, be prepared for the jewels of the world to tumble out, more precious than garnets, more lustrous than rubies, lit as if from inside. Each jewel contains a living seed. Separate one crystal. Hold it up to catch the light. Inside is a whole universe. No common jewel can give you this. Afterwards, I tried to make necklaces of pomegranate seeds. The juice spurted out bright crimson and stained my fingers, then my mouth. I didn't mind. The juice tasted of gardens I'd never seen, voluptuous with myrtle, lemon, jasmine, and alive with parrot's wings. The pomegranate reminded me that somewhere I had another home. The next poem is it's a love poem. I think it's time you had an unadulterated love poem. And this was written for my husband, Simon Power. Simon was a great talker. Very often I'd hear him out in the workshop scolding a saw or a drill, or having a chat in the night with electric bills. Because even if there was no one else to talk to, he'd talk to himself. The poem's called Undone, and it's a sonnet. That tongue of yours is silver when you speak, and silver when the speaking's done. Those eyes have a look that turns my quick to silver and proves my body's not my own, but away on loan to your fingers, bold in their skillful wheeling and their dealing. Your mouth the alchemist, I'm gold, blown through the eggshell of the ceiling into a clear Murano sky. All that goes with me is the scent of you, which could be the scent of me, for there is no I or you, flung as we are to glassy blue. See how well I'm undone with one touch of your silenced silver tongue. A few poets were asked to respond to a Shakespearean sonnet, any Shakespeare sonnet, with a poem of their own, and I chose to respond to Sonnet 43, and I'll read it to you because it's such a beautiful one. Sonnet 43. When most I wink, then do mine eyes best see, for all the day they view things unrespected. But when I sleep, in dreams they look on thee, and darkly bright are bright in dark directed. Then thou, whose shadow shadows doth make bright, how would thy shadow's form happy show to the clear day, with thy much clearer light, when to unseeing eyes thy shade shines so? How would, I say, mine eyes be blessed made by looking on thee in the living day, when in dead night thy fair imperfect shade through heavy sleep on sightless eyes doth stay. All days are nights to see till I see thee, and nights bright days when dreams do show thee me. Now Shakespeare was obviously also briefed to write about a haunting, but the reason I chose that one is because it's such a perfect sonnet of absence and presence, a presence in absence. The poem plays tricks on the mind with light and shade, and with words that look and sound the same, but make cunning grammatical shifts like form forms happy show. It takes reality, and somehow because of that hinge of the words, the repeated word, it takes reality and tilts it into a kind of dream state where the lover comes back. And longing like that, I think, is close to grief. When I began to write the poem, I'd been trying very hard to write a dream that wasn't working in other poems, but somehow the sonnet form set it free. The trick. In a wasted time, it's only when I sleep that all my senses come awake. In the wake of you, let day not break. Let me keep the scent, the weight, the bright of you. Take the countless hours and count them all night through, till that time comes when you come to the door of dreams, carrying oranges that cast a glow up into your face. Greedy for more than the gift of seeing you, I lean in to taste the color, kiss it off your offered mouth. For this, I fall asleep in haste, willing to fall for the trick that tells the truth, that even your shade makes darkest absence bright, that shadows live wherever there is light. It seemed to me that all the world was full of noise and voices and languages. This one's called medium. All life is out there, spending, spendthrift with its silver like a drunk on moonshine. Across the coffee shop, baristas are calling out to one another in Malayalam. Coffee burbles in Spanish. Cars go by in a rush of German. Screens flash off and on in Russian. Mobile phones shout Mandarin. The school playground is screaming Sylheti. Even songbirds are chirping in accents, valleys, Geordie, Bhojpuri. This upturned glass is mute, but wants to go screeching across the table, its mouth ravenous for word of you. The world is squandering its currency of languages. Save one. Speak to me. The next one's another love poem, and it's called Hiraeth, Old Bombay. I don't know if anyone here is a Welsh speaker, but Hiraeth is one of those almost untranslatable Welsh words. It means something in the direction of a longing to return to something that's no longer there. And Bombay, as you know, is a city whose name has been changed. Hiraeth, Old Bombay. I would have taken you to the Naz Cafe if it had not shut down. I would have taken you to the Naz Cafe for the best view and the worst food in town. We would have drunk flat beer and cream soda and sweated on plastic chairs at the Naz Cafe. We would have looked down over the dusty trees at cars creeping along Marine Drive, round the bay to Eros Cinema and the talk of the town. We would have held hands in the Naz Cafe over sticky rings on the tabletop, knee locked on knee at the Naz Cafe, while we admired the distant stock exchange, Taj Mahal Hotel, Sassoon-Dock, Gateway. We would have nursed a drink at the Naz Cafe, and you would have stolen a kiss from me. We would have lingered in the Naz Cafe till the day slid off the map into the Arabian Sea. I would have taken you to Bombay if its name had not slid into the sea. I would have taken you to the place called Bombay if it were still there, and if you were still here. I would have taken you to the Naz Cafe. Passing. There's a kind of splendor in these northbound trains when the evening fades along the tracks and stations grow elegant under the veil of rain. Concourses and overbridges find their glamour as daylight fades and lights spark on. At Crewe, I turn away from the platform's glitter to the window opposite, past my ghost reflection in the spangled glass, and see you in another train, arriving at the junction as if you were expected. No surprise to find you there, the wing of hair, the tilted head. Your eyes torch into me as if I were a well or tunnel that needed you to light me up and make me visible again. All the stations throw away their names. The gods of trains give up their destinations. Our timetables spin and overlap, frame locks on frame, a double exposure, the interior of my carriage cast over yours in an algebra of darkness and disclosure, as though some architect has plotted this, the intricacy of Jali on an ancient tomb, the pattern of your birthmark on my wrist. Our images lie over each other, like two people who have been granted another lifetime to be lovers. No need to press my face against the pane or lift a hand as my train leaves, as yours sets off. Reflections clasp and part and dazzle, and we are windows passing windows, passing windows, passing windows in the rain. Litter. At Derby Station, on the pavement where you stood, I leave your shoes. At Sheffield, in the cafe where you sat, I leave the orange scarf. On the Liverpool ferry, I leave your overcoat at the freezing rail where you pointed out Hope Street. On Hope Street, between the two cathedrals, I leave your photograph. On the platform at Euston, your suitcase with green tags. At the front door, I leave grieving. Coming in, I say your name. Saying your name, I bring you home. The next one is another love poem, but love finds all kind of languages, so you'll have to forgive the language in this one. I swear. Because I turned up from Bombay, too prissy to be rude, because you arrived via Leeds and Burnley, you thought it would do me good to learn some language. So you never just fell, you went arse over tits. And you were never not bothered, you just couldn't be asked. And when you laughed like an effing drain. And when there was pain, it was a pain in the arse. That was just the start. You taught me all the language you knew, right through the alphabet, from A to Z, from first to last, from bad to worse, and worser, and the very worst you could muster. I learned the curses, I learned the cursor. So proper you looked in your nice shoes and suit, until you produced language like magic out of your mouth. And I was impressed. And oh, I fell for you, arse over tits. And when I said so, you laughed like a drain. And we blinded and swore like the daft buggers we were, all the way down Clerkenwell and all the way up on the train to the Horseshoe Pass. And I tell you, since you left, it's a pain in the arse. And when some days I feel like shit, or when I say that I feel flat, I swear I hear you laugh like a drain. Not just flat, missus, flat as a witch's tit. That's what you say, flat as a witch's tit. And the last one I'll read. People often knock technology, especially when you're looking at your mobile phone. But looking at people on the underground, what I feel is that they're holding in the palm of the hand everyone that they love, everyone they care about. So this one's called Screensaver. I carry your face in a mobile shrine and take it out on the underground. Your digital eyes look into mine. I change at Farringdon, and I have changed. Touched by you, my skin is kozo tissue. My hair, rose-perfumed ink. My eyelids are gold leaf. The woman on my right, reflected in the window opposite, takes on the stillness of an icon. The boy across the way lifts his cheek to be pure marble, sculpted in living light. Together, we travel on into the night, all of us grown precious, each one of us alive and rare.